Josie, welcome to the Arts Nexus studio in Babinda. You've come a long way to be in this studio.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
I'd like to introduce you all to my very dear friend Josie Nawia, which I probably have. Do I pronounce that right? Nawia?
Yes,
I practice. I do try to practice.
you got it right.
Thank you. And I'm Melissa Robertson, and I get the great pleasure of sitting in the studio and facilitating a lot of conversations. I don't get to be in the conversations a lot, but
What a privilege.
I know.
It is to my privilege that you can sit in the podcast.
Well, I'm usually over there
After
pressing
all, you're
buttons.
the facilitator, I presume.
Well, sometimes I do have a fantastic colleague, Jeremiah, who gets to now do a lot of them, and there's more people coming every day, every week. So
Did you ever get to sit in the podcast?
not
Or
a
this
lot.
is the first time?
Not the first, but the first with a really
Special people.
special person who's come all the way from Kuban on Moa Island in the Torres Strait. So if you do not know where the Torres Strait is, get on Google right now and have a look.
And that's where I am.
It's a bit of a secret. Not everyone knows where the Torres Strait is, do they?
Yeah.
I'm very, very lucky that I got to meet you some time ago. But before we move on, we do want to acknowledge that we're recording here on Madjanji country, and the people here are that it's the Babinda Boulders, which is down the road, and they call it Bunabinda, the boulders, and it's a bit special. We're looking at a beautiful photo over there. And out to the east is a little bit like this, the Great Barrier Reef. And then up north is where the Torres Strait is. So, yeah, check out where we are and have a get a sense of why we are so colourful and so happy. It's such a beautiful place, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's, yeah.
And I have to say that we probably wouldn't have met normally, would we? Like, I'm from Melbourne, is where I was brought up, in the outer eastern suburbs, from a very non-Indigenous family in a very, like, I didn't even meet someone Aboriginal until I was about 25, let alone Torres Strait. Like, I had no idea. Couldn't have been further away in a way. Oh, maybe Perth. But I found my way here to Cairns, and then I found my way to Torres Strait, and then I found my way to Moa Island through some work I was doing, and that's when I bumped into Josie. Do you remember?
I remember. I remember so clearly that I have never ever forgot that how we bumped into in our business center. How we bumped into our transition business center on Kuban. And I can still remember the way you looked at me and how we laughed as if we knew for a long time. That's the thing that I, I don't know. It's like the two hearts came and just boom to connect each other. I don't know. Sometimes I say telepathically.
Yeah.
And to me, like looking at you, Melissa, I known you from the day my eyeballs went. I met up with you and we laughed and as if, hey,
Yeah.
no strangers.
Yeah.
But there was a connection, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting how that happens because when, like, I move around a lot and you've travelled a bit too, so you know that when you go into a new place, you're looking, you're seeing who's there, and you're quite sort of ready to say hello to people. Like, I don't go to communities without wanting to get to know people. I know there are facilitators and trainers and consultants that wander in, they fly in and out, they disappear. Sometimes they fly in the morning and they can be gone before lunchtime. So I don't know how they even get to know someone's name, let alone feel where they are. And so, yeah, when I look around, I'm often looking for that one person who will at least smile at me or cross the line and go, who is this person in my community? What are they doing here, you know? Did you know why I was there at the time, or did...
I didn't even know you were there. I didn't even know you were exist until I met up with the person. There was only you and I in that business transition center in Nawia. And I said hello because I like to say hello to anybody. I communicate. I would never just pass by, but every time I meet up with a stranger, I would smile and laugh and make a joke. I would just never pass by a stranger.
Yep.
And I remember clearly when I said to you, oh, when you told me you were at that center, come along, we've got workshop. There was a night up at the school.
Yep.
And then I said to you, well, next time when you come and stay with me.
I remember that distinctly because I was staying in a very strange room and it was kind of in the middle of the
And that's when you
school.
spoke to me.
Mm.
I asked you, remember, and I said, where are you? You're up at the school. And the first thing you said to me was, that kind of a place. And that's when I said, come and stay with me.
Yeah. So Josie, you're quite unique up there because you are a fully qualified school teacher and you've been working in the schools for some decades with those beautiful children and teaching them the songs and dance and how to read. And so you spend a lot of time at the school and in this room that's in the middle of the school, and a lot of people get to stay there because there's not that many accommodation options there.
Yeah.
And at night, as soon as the kids go, there's this kind of ghostly silence.
Creepy noises.
Creepy noises and probably the echoes of the kids from the day. But it's a very strange place to be sitting by yourself when really just down the road is all community and people. And so if you don't have someone who actually pulls you out of that and says, hey, come and have a look, then you could sit in that room looking at stupid TV and having no idea where you were. So then I had another experience where I went for a walk. So I usually go walking, have a look where I am and say hello to people and try to do it about 5 in the evening when people are kind of doing the same, right?
Yeah.
Remember that story? Do you remember that? I don't know if you remember. You weren't there, and I bring this up because now I know you. I know that this experience would have been so different had I had a friend with me walking. I suppose it's a bit my, I don't know what it is, but the presumption that I could just walk around the community. And it's a beautiful place, Corbin. If you've never been there, you really should put it on your to-do list. It's got the best fishing jetty, which you and I have.
Yes.
A
story to that.
That's
Yes.
another story. I might put up the photo of the fish we caught. So I go walking and this person says, oh, make sure you take a stick. There's really bad dogs down there and you need to have a stick with you because, they might chase you. And I went, oh. I look around, there's no sticks anywhere. It's not like there's a lot of trees. There's bamboo and there was reeds and things. I'm like, oh, I don't really want to carry a stick. I'm like, oh, you must take a stick. I'm like, okay. So then I have a stick in my hand and I walk down the end of the street and this woman calls out, hey, you, put that stick down. If you have a stick, the dog's going to chase you because they want the stick, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so I'm like caught between one person saying you should have a stick and another person saying don't have a stick, that's crazy. And I went, oh, so I quickly throw the stick away. And then there's dogs everywhere and they're all happy and being crazy dogs, and I go down to the jetty and meet all these kids, and one brings me their dog, says, oh, this is my dog, and the other one says, don't touch that dog, he's really naughty. I just went, I could not work out what I should do about these dogs. Anyway, to this day, I still don't know whether I should have a stick or not have a stick when I'm walking. But I have been walking with you around the island, and I've never seen you with a stick in your hand. Which should I have done, Josie?
Walk without a stick.
Walk without a stick. That made more sense
That
to
will
me.
make you calm,
Yeah,
and every dog will run to you and wag their tails.
yeah. That's right. That's what
Yeah,
I
because
feel.
sometimes when the dog sees you with the stick, they might get aggressive, or they might be scared. They might not like you on the spot.
Or they might want to chase it and wonder
Yeah.
why I'm not throwing.
Yeah, something like that. They probably want you to throw the stick.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't make sense to me. So they're the kind of, like, it seems like such a small thing, but when you came and said to me, next time you come, you stay with me. I'm in that big blue house. I was like, yeah, I could see that house because it stands out. It's beautiful. It's got the most amazing view pointed to Badu with you can see the ocean.
And the sunset.
The sunset. Oh my God.
Every day.
Every day. And the breeze. There's an incredible breeze that comes
And the view.
and the fish you get to eat because you have a very talented husband who can fish very well.
He's a fisherman.
Yeah.
And one day, what did we do? We took out a bucket, fill up the fishing line.
Yes. Went to the jetty and we caught the biggest fish and the first fish and coral. Was it coral trout?
Coral trout.
Coral trout.
The beautiful coral trout. And that's made Melissa's partner to come fishing too.
So then, yes, we have been back. We spent a couple of weeks there actually and relaxed and
6 months that I remember.
yeah, back and forwards a couple of
Yeah,
times.
he spent on Moa at Kubin.
Yeah, so that was an incredible, first of all, privilege to be invited there in the first place, but then to come back. And then actually it was over a year when I first started coming and I was mentoring that young woman at the art centre and it was a really special time. I really enjoyed that. I got to meet quite a number of people and of course you all travel regularly to, what do they call, Cairns Island?
Cairns Island.
Cairns Island. It is like an extension of the Torres Strait, isn't it?
Yeah, the slang or the saying, I'm traveling to Cairns Island.
Why is that? What makes Cairns?
I don't know, maybe because we stay on the island. And Cairns is like a bigger island. Or that maybe just a saying that made you laugh for the day. Yeah, maybe that was just a joke or a laughter.
Well, I know that there's about 5,000 Torres Strait people live, whether it's here to Townsville, but certainly on the mainland. And you see a lot of Torres Strait people that actually have a house or a flat or an apartment in Cairns and they're one on the island because obviously that makes sense economically.
Yeah.
That's a good idea when I saw that.
Yeah.
Because, otherwise you're always staying in hotels or crashing on people's floors or whatever. And the kids, they all go to school, right? So you're always in and out of Cairns to either pick them up or go to the school or go to a graduation or... so you get lots of time when you're in Cairns.
That's right. Yeah.
And I've enjoyed that. Josie and I have a particular interest in common, don't we?
Yes, that's when you come and go. There were times you were gone and there were times you come back again. And I think that's where the friendship has grew to a family friendship. It was like really coming in, into a family.
Yep.
That's when my family was involved.
Yep.
To get to know you more.
Yep.
And you got to know our lifestyle and our homes.
Yep.
And then you were part of us. You were part of our ceremony.
Yep.
And that was very that's so unique that we actually like, we adopted you as a family sister to us. And you knew my family and you're part of me.
Yeah.
And I can never forget when I rang you, you were coming, and I didn't want to tell you that I will have how many people in my house. That grew, that relationship even grew bigger.
That was a very funny story. Can I share that
You
story?
can share that by all means.
Okay, I'm going to put it on record. Josie absolutely tricked me. You did. You tricked me because you knew I was coming.
I ask you a favor.
You asked me a favour because you thought I was coming from Cairns, and you said,
Hey, I have something you to tell you. You're laughing. Can you please buy me something on your way? You're still coming. And you were up for it. So you asked for a quantity.
yeah. You said, can you get me 20 pillowcases? I'm like, 20 I don't need 20 pillows to sleep. Because why would she want 20 pillowcases? That's a bit random. Anyway, I wasn't coming from Cairns, so I couldn't actually help out in that case because I was already on Mare Island, I think, up there.
But you were coming to my house. Remember, you were coming that day.
Yeah, but I was already
You're
up
traveling.
the north,
Yeah, you
and
were
I
up the
just
north
coming,
somewhere
yeah.
there. Yeah.
So I wasn't able to help. But so I get there, and
You were
I
all
turn on, and
confused
you're
now.
like, I didn't tell you
You
that
never
I have a
asked me.
couple of friends staying, but I really want you to stay as well. So I have made you a bed. It's right beside mine. And there's about 20, maybe 30 people staying at the house, but there's lots of room. I went, wow. And I felt, of course, straight away, as you guessed, that I would feel, well, I'm going to be in imposition.
Sorry, I can come.
Why
I
would
didn't want you to tell me, sorry, I can come. I didn't even want to hear that. Sorry, I can come. I thought, I'm going to tell her the biggest lie.
Well, you did avoid telling a lie by not telling me
It
anything.
was not a lie. It was the love of lie. It was like,
That was an amazing weekend. So you had a very special event happening, and it was your church was having North Queensland gathering. So they came from PNG all the way from lower than Townsville, or
yeah, we call it Stomco. We have all the youth. All the youth come from Townsville. Up to Cairns, Mackay, Townsville, Mackay, Brisbane, Cairns, to come to us to Stomco is service to others really matters. Our church provide to hold the community, to help elders, families, take them fishing, work for them,
yep.
meet their needs. And I was one of the organizers, so I had to look after 29 people. And beside my Melissa. So
30 plus me.
it was like shock of a life. And I thought, don't say nothing, please. You are sleeping with us.
Which was, first of all, again, a real privilege. And instantly I was just taken in by this incredible group. I think there was about 70 people in the. You had 30 visitors, and then all the locals and others came in. Yeah,
it's like 70.
About 70, yeah. And the minister, to be the pastor of your church in the Torres Strait, you have to have a pilot's license and be able to drive this big boat. So part of the job beforehand was going around up to PNG, across the islands to pick everyone up and back.
The pilot, yeah.
So that was incredible to watch the logistics going on. And then they had invited, well, first of all, there was Johnny. That was the visiting pastor from Townsville. And then the singer, I don't even remember his name, but he was like this Elvis. he sang He sang the most amazing, all the Elvis sort of hymns, but then as soon as the church service was over, he just became this living karaoke machine, and he just sang, and he was a beautiful singer, and he was quite gorgeous, and he'd strut around like in his cowboy boots. Handsome. All
the beautiful voice.
With a beautiful voice. We took lots of photos with him, and we'd see him walking around the island as well in the morning. And yeah, so it was the most amazing experience. You can't imagine. You couldn't buy tickets for something like this.
And the food.
Oh my gosh,
the food was
feasting
vegetarian, vegetables.
What was
beautiful.
That? The bread like a pancake, something that's special to your church particularly.
Yeah.
What's that called? What is that? It was delicious.
Yeah, I forget now.
I don't know if you noticed, but I did keep offering to go and do the dishes just so I could sneak extra service. I can't look like I'm greedy, but it's so yummy.
I just said to my sister, go for it. I said, come on, there's more, go for it.
Yeah, so I remember that whatever that was it's like
I have to,
a patty.
It's a patty. It's made out of gluten steak. We call that gluten steak.
Mm-hmm.
It's a flour, certain flour that we do that, and then it's a broth.
Yeah.
We cook that in the broth. Mm-hmm. And then we fry it.
And then you fry it. And so it's like triple cooked really, but
it's just beautiful. And then you can store it. You can even
if there's any left. Not if I'm in the kitchen. But so there was
that was a ball.
That was a ball. So there was a couple of the one particular service I couldn't make because I had an online meeting, and I felt so bad. I was like sitting up on your veranda looking back over to the church going, what am I doing in a meeting when there's this fabulous music and all the island singing and the happy people? So I was instantly just grabbed as part of that. What you didn't know is that in my childhood, up until I was about 21, I was part of a church and did a lot of church camps. And so I understood the fellowship and the instant camaraderie, the fact that you were all being inspired at the same time by the same, in conferences you call it a keynote, in church you would call it a sermon. It's about someone giving you a message that they have thought about,
We have an Aboriginal dance. The pastor was an Aboriginal from Kuranda. And he did his show.
Yeah.
When we come to the end of the night, remember we had that special night that you can make your items.
Yep.
That's when he did the dance.
Yep.
And then we had the music. The music was special too. And his CDs were available. And he was offering people to come. And I actually looked at Melissa and said, you, come on down. And I looked at Melissa, the smile she gave. Yeah.
Oh, that was really lovely. So, like I said, again, I suppose it's part of I can't help myself. If I hear music or see food or people gathering, I just love it. It's just my favorite thing, and I don't mind what it is. I'll just be there for the joy of that moment. And so I was really grateful. And people saw that I was in the kitchen. I was with the youth, with the kids out the side. I was
participating and helping, and you were just having a ball.
And of course, we're all camped down at your house. Like every room, every floor, every corner had people. So that was a bit special. So then all of a sudden, I suppose on the Sunday, just everyone was getting ready to go. And they were all like getting taken down to the jetty and getting on the boat and back on the planes and packed bags. And I turned around and the whole house was empty, remember? And you came back to find me doing what? Do you remember what I was doing when you came back? There's a very funny moment where...
You tell.
So I see that there's a lot of beds, right? There's 30 beds and a lot of sheets, and you might as well get started washing the sheets.
So what were you doing?
And Josie comes back and finds me hanging sheets on the line. She's like, oh, I got myself a white housekeeper. It was just this like reverse moment where she's in the big house with all these guests and
I
I'm
just
there.
found the housekeeper.
It was like this reverse of entire history, and
I just found an housekeeper. Oh my god! I looked at it and saw all the beds on the line. The bed sheets were on the line. Oh, yeah.
I know. Well, what else was I gonna do? Like apart from eat gluten stuff.
Yeah. So to that far extent, our relationship grew.
Yeah, because we're just doers. You see something, it doesn't matter what the job is.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that you were going to be washing a lot of sheets, so I might as well start. And then, so by then coming back, I got to be invited to your nephew's shaving. That was, I do have and the church.
But you would see the other part of ceremony now. Yeah,
This is
not
cultural law.
cultural,
Yeah. And so we go over to your beautiful sister's house. She was running amok, like all these people are coming. There's these big stereos that people have in the Torres Strait, and they're like big lights and they boom box, and they're in the driveway, and so the whole front yard was all lit up and decorated, ready for this ceremony. And I turn up, and a couple of things I remember that were really special. One was
You were special. You both were special. That
because my fella was there too. But the I go in the lounge room. I just find it remarkable. So they watch up there a lot of the DVDs of either the dancing at festivals or tombstone openings, and the excitement with the kids when they go, oh, the side-by dance there, quick, now, come and have a look. You know, like they get really, really excited about seeing a particular dance, or an uncle doing something, or when the auntie comes out and puts the powder on, everyone laughs. And this is on a CD or DVD or whatever. So it's just the joy of the every day. It's not like forced. It's not. I'm sure their kids are forced to go to dance class, dance practice, like every kid. Go, I don't want to go now. I want to play
at
footy.
that moment, everyone was like just laughing, jumping onto you, grabbing onto your hands.
Yeah.
Nana, come sit, have a look.
Yeah. So I get to be. I was sitting on the floor in the lounge room, and just naturally someone put a bowl in front of me and a peeler and said, here. Like, it wasn't even in question. So I just started to peel the potatoes like everyone else had a job, and I'm watching the dance on the telly with the kids sitting around, and I'm in.
So you started to peel. You're part of the family.
Of course I have to.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was an initiation to see what I would do, or just a natural, they'd see me in the kitchen with 70 people and helping whatever I could. So, that was strangely very comforting to just be accepted.
Accepted and involved. And quickly, like, I would explain to Melissa afterwards that you're the auntie, because that's what sister's son. First initiation, and we all are aunties. So we can help, we can do anything. But we like them. You were the guest.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you were part of the family.
yeah.
You were actually the auntie
Yeah.
that got involved in everything, and everybody just come, and
Yeah.
it was like no one asked you a question. Everybody just laughed at you. You were like mingling, eating, laughing.
Oh, eating. Oh, that is something we have in common. So food. We both love our food, don't we?
We love our food, we love our laughter. And
And good coffee.
good coffee. And I think, what about our brains? Like we were tied into, we were really connected to something that we love doing. That you felt one night when we sit, remember, downstairs, and that's when you said
Into the night.
into the night we were doing this, and our conversation turned into like we were one mind. We were doing something, and we just kind of really connected to it. That's when you said to me, "Oh my God, I really found the person that you are connected to me.
Yep.
That whatever I want to do and what I want to say and what I'm thinking, yes, you can follow me up, and I can ask you, and we can do it together.
Yeah.
And I see you like me, like we can just do it. Or that when you spoke to me, I thought, well, maybe the little angel.
And she can
maybe
clean
you were meant
sheets.
to be. And yeah,
She washes.
yeah, and you know.
Yeah. Actually, that there was one particular night, and it was in the lead. It was like one of the nights of the camp, and you needed to get all that music ready. And so, actually, when I think about it, we're sitting in this studio now, which
Yes.
you and I have talked about. This is the first time you've seen it after hearing about whatever this random weird podcasting thing is.
Yes.
And that night we were preparing music, and I was pulling music down for you off. It's not YouTube, it's GodTube, isn't it? Like, I'd never seen anything
Yeah,
like it. It was
God's
amazing.
tube.
It was amazing. And so that kind of use of technology and stuff is actually what started the idea that we could do this studio and not have like high level engineer experience. So anyone really who can press the buttons on the computer and can kind of know where they want to go with the story, and then just find a way to capture it. But yeah, so that night we were working pretty well through the night, and went, here's someone else that can work as hard as I through the night, talking, laughing. Next thing we looked, it was 3. And I'm pretty sure it got to 4, and we're like, oh, we better go to bed.
Yeah, yeah, I can really remember that. And I guess because we were coming from, neither do we knew that we come from that background that we can work.
Yeah.
Our work was so hectic that we can work at night. And I got used to, I used to do that, and you too. So we kind of went with the flow.
Yep.
And the time was ticking.
Yep.
And that to me was like really
Yep.
I can reflect now to this day, and even it didn't stop us.
Yep.
When I'm in Cairns for a workshop, for a meeting, I have a room. And there's a bed, and that bed was always to Melissa. If Melissa was working, and a day's work is hard in Cairns, and there's need to be more to be had onto her computer, or she can open up a laptop, I have a room and a bed.
Yeah.
And so, even though I was in my workshop, you would come, I do my work, you do your work.
Yeah.
So we connected again. It's like there was always time that we can finish what we have to do that night.
Yep.
And that's like a story to me.
Yeah.
And every day we met. That's once in a blue moon when I'm in Cairns. I know there's a bed there that Melissa can put her head and she can rest, because I know she's a busy lady. And but not only that, you and I can find that time, because that's a quality time. That's a family connection.
Yep.
And then that to me didn't go away.
No.
to that extent and to that time, I would remember the story you told me. You sent me a picture. There was all the plants hanging outside. I need you to come. I need you to come.
Yeah, the hanging baskets.
Where are you? I'm in Babinda. What are you doing in Babinda, Melissa? Come to Cairns. Come and have a night with me. I have to bring you to Babinda.
And it is hard. Like, I'll be honest. I get the last few years have been very tricky because I have been torn between being in Cairns, in Babinda, and up to Tolga to be with my partner there. And so we had that time there where we were both going up to Walkham and whenever you came. But there are times when you arrive in Cairns, you go, where? Come and see me. And I'm like, oh, if I'd only known, I would have changed my, where I was or whatever. Especially if you're only in for a couple of days.
Plan,
yeah. So sometimes my heart would break going, oh, I'm not going to get to see Josie this time. And same with there's another friend who with her beautiful children, and I get really grumpy when she gives me like an hour's notice saying, I'm going to land in an hour, come and have a coffee at the airport before she flies out. I'm like, that is not enough time for me. I need to like sit and eat together. And so now all of a sudden my life's changed a bit, and this is like the first time so I've basically kidnapped Josie tonight. Get in the car. So that's really lovely. And thank you for taking some time to have a yarn. And
it's my pleasure, my sister.
My pleasure. So, but we have, I think, so first of all, we have a natural rhythm with the way we can just share, laugh, talk, and some ideas for the future, which is very exciting, which we don't have.
Writers at Kowara Beach.
The writers at Kowara. See, that was an amazing experience.
That was something that you took me out on that avenue.
Mm-hmm.
That was mind blowing, and that you captured me that I had that path too.
Yeah.
And you kind of like, you put me there.
Yep.
That was always my journey.
Yep.
So see, that was the connection.
And you got published, your poem. So we have this very mutual love of stories, and you sharing with the kids, but now writing for yourself the stories. With the Writers' Festival, but the one thing we didn't get to do, which kind of hangs here now as to do, is go to the Bali Writers' Festival together.
Yes.
That is on the books one day.
Yes.
And even when I was travelling through India, all the Writers' Festivals, I kept thinking how much fun it'd be to have you with me on those. So I think that you and I will have travel together in the future when we get past this whatever glitch.
Yes.
And then and our children are growing, and we're both almost empty nesters, a bit freer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day we will be standing on the top of the mountain, just screaming up.
Yeah.
We made it. We're here.
So I expect to know you through my entire life, and and always there's always the idea too. One day I might actually get to spend some proper time up there on the island, which would be amazing.
I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love you to come back again.
Well, I'm going to guess that we're going to have a little cafe on the beach.
I still have
that
your
you're
bucket
and
waiting for you with your
mat
hat
and the hat
and the fishing lines.
Yes.
And all your fishing gear is waiting for you.
Yeah. That will stay there until I get back there. There's no and I suppose the fish will wait for me.
Fish will wait for you.
Yeah, the fish will wait. But yeah, that definitely. Well, it's a little bit tricky because our children are still at that sort of early. Your youngest and my only, but in that sort of 20-something where they're still forming their life.
Early
And there's
20s,
and so it's a bit hard to be away from my son or your daughter, but You have others too, and I've got to know your entire family. It's been really, really amazing. So,
It's a pleasure.
yeah.
But you are part of the family. You're my sister, Melissa. You're my sister for life, Melissa.
Watch out. That's it. And
My island sister.
yeah. And one day we'll probably get to hang out in Melbourne, where I'm from,
yes.
and go on the town.
Oh,
Watch
yes.
out. Watch out. There's quite a lot to be had down there, and in terms of fun and experiences and adventures and things. But yeah. So thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Yay. Well, I don't know where this will end up, but someone in the world will probably get to hear our story and go, I've got a sister just like that.
Yes.
From another mother, but
Yeah. I hope you enjoy our stories. I hope you enjoy our stories.
we might get to do a few more of these, I think. Lovely.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.